Margaret Hubbard, and this is my informative speech about the Salem witch trials. Have you ever wanted to be a witch, like in the movie Hocus Pocus? Maybe you will want to rethink that after hearing about how witches were treated in 1692. Witches have always fascinated me, from witches that work for the devil to witches like Harry Potter who do spells to make you invisible. When I was growing up, I watched TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and the movie Hocus Pocus. Both were very different, but show the two different sides of witches. The happy, magical, nice witch, and the devious witch who uses their powers for evil. I have continued to do my research on all things witchy, but a topic everyone should know about is the Salem witch trials. The most important era in witch history, the beginning of the end for witches in that time. I'm going to begin by sharing how it all started in the spring of 1692 in Salem Village, Massachusetts. A group of young girls claimed to be possessed by the devil and accused several local women of witchcraft. The women were having fits. Included in the fits were screaming, making odd sounds, throwing things, contorting their bodies, and were complaining of biting and pinching sensations. Stated by Britannica, the behavior may have resulted from combinations of asthma, encephalitis, Lyme disease, epilepsy, child abuse, delusional psychosis, or convulsive ergotism. The local doctor, William Griggs, put the blame on the supernatural. Now I will tell you the consequences for these girls who claimed witchcraft. The accused were forced to defend themselves without a lawyer. Most evidence for the accused was the admission of claims by the victims that had claimed to have been attacked. When in court, the girls being accused wiggled, whimpered, and mumbled, which had the judges believing this was evidence of demonic presence. The ones who confessed were spared by the court because the court believed they would receive their punishment from God. Ones who denied their involvement got a lot harsher sentencing that led to death by hanging in Gallows Hill in Salem Village. According to Douglas O. Linder, by the time witch hunt ended, 19 convicted witches were executed. At least 4 accused witches had died in prison, and one man, Giles Corey, had been pressed to death. About 100 to 200 other persons were arrested and imprisoned on witchcraft charges. 2 dogs were even executed as suspected accomplices of witches. Being pressed to death means to use such force with an object to crush somebody. Other torture methods were also used to get the guilty to talk. How did all this leave an everlasting impression on the city of Salem, Massachusetts, and the U.S. courts? Judges who participated in the convictions came forth years later and said the trials were unlawful and apologized for their involvement. The U.S. court system was changed forever. It played a role in the guarantee of the right to legal presentation, the right to cross-examine one's accuser, and the presumption of innocence rather than of guilt, says Jeff Wellenfeld. Do you still want to be a witch with all this knowledge? Think about everything you now know about the Salem witch trials and try to imagine what it was like to live amongst the accused. The movies do not portray a proper idolization of witches back in the day. Nowadays, if you were to have an uncontrollable fit, the first thing that doctors would look at would be a mental illness, not work for the devil. We as a nation should be appreciative of the trials because it changed our court system into a fair fighting chance. If you ever get the chance to visit Salem, Massachusetts, bring the Bible and holy water. You never know if you're going to need it. And tell everybody.
All right, everyone's still here.